My name is Ron Walker, founding executive director of the Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color, also known as Coseboc. I am in front of my home where I grew up in West Philly. This house was kind of a learning institution. The experiences here really have been instrumental in me in the founding of this organization. Because one of the things that took place every day coming home from school, we'd have a lot of kids in the neighborhood playing ball, playing football, baseball, basketball, but we had a lot of fathers. We had a lot of men who were mentors, who guided us along the way, who told us when we were wrong and helped us to do right, helped us to really to grow up. So, this whole neighborhood was a good learning environment for me. My school, elementary school, was right around the corner. And then I belonged to the Boy Scouts. I played all kinds of Little League football and basketball and baseball. So I was surrounded by coaches, mentors, guides. I find it's essential in the development of boys, particularly black and brown boys. I attended William L. Sayre Junior High School in the years 1961 to 1964. And then lo and behold, after graduating from college, I came right back here to William L. Sayre Junior High School and became a teacher. And I was a teacher here from the years 1968 to 1978. I was called to teaching because I had education in my genes. My mother was a wannabe teacher, so to speak. Never had a chance to be a teacher, but certainly she talked to me a lot about teaching. I mean, she taught Sunday school, and I guess I picked up that love for teaching kids and children and youth. I'm often asked how Coseboc got started. Why did you start it, and when did you start it? Now, I like to say that, I was minding my business, had a great educational career as a teacher and as a principal, and was getting to the ripe old age of 60 years old when I received a call from the principal of a penitentiary school, Frackville State Penitentiary School. And she called me up and said, "Mr. Walker, you don't know me, but I want to invite you to speak to the 100 inmates who are getting their GEDs and college credits. And let me tell you further, Mr. Walker, that the invitation was really inspired by a former student of yours, inmate Kevin Johnson, who's been working as my inmate assistant for the past 7 years. He's been impeccable, dependable, and he keeps talking about his former teacher. And so, not knowing you, I said I'm going to call you and invite you to come to be our presenter. So I flew to Philadelphia from Boston, drove 3 hours to the Frackville State Penitentiary, and for the first time in over 30 years, I had a chance to see my former student, Kevin Johnson, who I taught when he was at Sayre Junior High School. And so I followed an inmate who was a valedictorian. And the inmate said the following words that probably was the tipping point. He said, "Although I'm incarcerated, I'm a felon, and I might never see freedom, I'm liberated because I'm educated." At that moment, September 2006, I decided that all the work that I've been doing all my life was leading me to start something that was greater than just me. And when I saw all the men in front of me, they were incarcerated, they were getting their degrees, cap and gown, and seeing my former students, I said I needed to do something. So that was the birth of Coseboc. And here we are, 10 years later. There's a lot of Kevin Johnsons out there who have gifts, talents, strengths, very intelligent, and they could be successes. Too many of the metrics that talk about suspension, dropout, expulsion have to do with black and Latino males. Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color is committed to save as many young men that we can who are determined to succeed. People ask about, how is Coseboc different? Well, it's different because right now, it's the only national organization that solely works with school leaders, i.e. principals and superintendents, focus on what I call the affirmative development, cultural and academic development of boys and young men of color. We are the only one that does that on a national level. That makes us unique. And we do it in a way that provides high quality professional development at regional and national events to really strengthen, connect, inspire, and support school leaders who are dedicated to the proposition that boys and young men of color can achieve and exceed expectations. We'll be going to Austin, Texas in April 2017 for our annual national gathering. And I want to just tell you the theme. When we're in Austin, Texas, there'll be schools from all around the country coming to really absorb professional development of how to educate boys and young men of color really well. But our theme, boys and young men of color, innovators, creators, and game changers. And that's what we want to promote, because we know there's genius. We know there's talent. We know that if they're supported, nurtured, coached, and mentored, that they can change the game in a positive way. Coseboc needs your support. We are a national nonprofit membership organization invested in and dedicated to the well-being and affirmative development of boys and young men of color in this nation. In order to do that, in order to provide high-quality professional development to educators and to community members and parents and families, we need your financial support, whether it be small or large. Everything helps, because just think about one boy or young man that you may know who, if they had the strong academic support as well as mentoring support, would be a success. So we're out to do that for hundreds and thousands of young men across this country. There's just no limit to what our boys and young men of color can do. They can be innovators, creators, and game changers. There'll be all of that if you support www.coseboc.org, Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color.